Hello all, very good morning. Thanks for joining the session. Let me share my screen. And today, let us discuss about the DevOps engineer, the day-to-day tasks, job roles and responsibilities is what we have seen in our last session. So today, let us see the DevOps engineer, the tasks that a DevOps engineer will do. Okay, before understanding these tasks that a DevOps engineer will do, let me first open one document. Let me open one document. Um, so this is the lab guide, a simple lab guide I'm just opening. So such a lab guides you will get more, meaning due to your DevOps with AWS course. In the DevOps, you can do, you mean 6 projects you will do, and more than 20 lab guides you will get. However, now what I would like to showcase you is basically what are all the responsibilities or the tasks of a DevOps engineer. So the responsibilities or the tasks, basically not responsibilities, the tasks, the day-to-day tasks. Very important question actually this is. So usually DevOps engineer job is to prepare the CI/CD pipeline at only once, isn't it? How much time it will take to prepare the CI/CD pipeline? Maybe 3 months, 2 months, right? So once the CI/CD pipeline has been prepared, then what the DevOps engineers will do, right? Yesterday we discussed DevOps engineers need to maintain the applications that are in the production. So if you can see, this architecture is once implemented and then running fine in the production, then what is the work for the DevOps engineers? Assume you might have taken, 3 months to implement it, this architecture with the Kubernetes with the complete, security, and then the lot of advanced concepts we have used, and then assume we implemented this pipeline in 3 months, and we automated this pipeline using the infrastructure automation tool like Terraform, so that the Terraform scripts we can use and then create the same environment in another, same architecture in another environment just within 1 to 2 hours. So now what a DevOps engineer will do then, after completion of this 3 months, 4 months of time, or 3 months of time, this pipeline setup, what a DevOps engineer will do. So DevOps engineer will maintain the application. Okay, that statement is very cool. Maintain the application, that is fine. But what is the meaning of maintain, right? So what they will do actually, so that let us understand now. Okay, so if we can see a day-to-day tasks carried out by a DevOps engineer or design, build, test, and deploy the scalable distributed systems from development through production. What does it mean? What does it mean? So let me type tasks of a DevOps engineer. So DevOps engineer day-to-day tasks. So this is a very common question asking by the interviewer. DevOps engineer day-to-day tasks. The first is what? Design the pipeline. It is not day-to-day task actually. So DevOps engineer tasks are divided into 2 types, we can say. So DevOps engineer tasks we can see in two ways. We can see in two views. So one is one-time setup tasks. Second one is day-to-day maintenance, day-to-day maintenance tasks. Now, what is this one-time setup tasks? What is this meaning is one-time setup tasks. One-time setup tasks or nothing but the tasks that will be performed, the task that will be performed to design, build and to design, build and implement the CI/CD pipeline. CI/CD pipeline. Any questions, guys? You are keep on chatting. Yes. Okay, let me answer all your questions at the end of this session. Okay, because let me continue whatever I would like to. Then end of this session, I will speak to you guys. Then I will answer your questions. Okay, just keep your questions with you till that time. Okay, so one-time setup tasks are nothing but the tasks that will be performed to design, build, and implement CI/CD pipeline with the monitoring tools. Carefully focus. Carefully focus. Whatever you are telling to the interviewer, hey, tell me what are your day-to-day tasks. If I am an interviewer, if I'll ask, then you are telling my tasks are divided into two views actually. One is one-time setup. Second one is the maintenance tasks. So one-time setup task in the sense when a project will come with a requirement. So when a project will come with a requirement of automating the build and release process. Then we will do the infrastructure. Setup. We will do the following tasks as part of one-time setup, one-time setup of the pipeline. What are those tasks? Carefully observe. What are those tasks? Number one, infrastructure setup with the VMs, network and load balancing and security. So infrastructure setup we will do like this, meaning we will take the virtual machines. Maybe what I am now writing may or may not know to you at this moment, but listen carefully. At least you came to know the terminology, isn't it? And this is what the real-time 100% we will do. So infrastructure setup with the VMs, network setup, load balancing, and then security setup. Then installation and execution of the pipeline tools such as Jenkins with the master slave architecture. So Jenkins with the, as it is, you can answer this question to your interviewer. So Jenkins with master slave architecture. That means what is the Jenkins with master slave architecture? So here we have the Jenkins, right? Let me showcase you the Jenkins master slave architecture. So this is what the Jenkins master slave architecture we will set up during our this DevOps course, DevOps with AWS course.
But so here we can also do master.
Yes, we can also do master.
So, sir, if there is a server which is locally we have set up, suppose it is in LAN connected, and we need to sync the services with the cloud server. So in that case, we should use master slave or master.
Okay, actually, okay, if I understood your question correctly, so there will be a master in your machine.
Okay.
What's your question? Can you repeat?
So there will be local server, and there will be a cloud server. So I have actually this is already I have done in practical level, but I have not set up the master slave configuration. So what happens in that case, I have set up a standalone application in the local server, which is in someone's office. So I need to sync the data to the cloud server where people will use for mobile application. Okay. So in that case, like I need to sync the real-time data from the local server to cloud server.
Correct.
So I need to set a master slave or master.
No, you need to set up first master slave.
Because in mobile application, people will do like people will add their like documents or whatever. That need to sync also from cloud to local server.
Two things here actually. This Jenkins architecture here, it is not talking about the data syncing. Jenkins architecture will not talk about the data sync. Okay. Jenkins architecture will talk about the Jenkins jobs syncing. That means when we create a job in the master node, that job will go and then execute in the any one of the available worker, so that the load on the Jenkins master will be reduced. That is the purpose of this Jenkins master slave architecture. So data syncing is a different concept.
But that is the load balancer use, no?
Not load balancer. Load balancer is to access the applications. Data syncing will comes in a concept called replication. So usually there will be a master, there will be many slaves. Always we have to write the data to the master and then get the data from the slaves. That is what the master slave architecture.
Okay.
In case of the data syncing. So in our Kubernetes, we will use the stateful set concept to achieve this. Got it? Huh?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay.
Hello. I have one query. Master slave and DB slave. These are the two slaves. The difference between master slave and DB slave?
Basically, both are same architectures only. DB slave meaning, yes, just now as I told, right? There will be a DB master and there will be a DB slaves. Data will be automatically synced to all the slaves. Let us say one master we have and then 4 slave nodes we have. Data will be synced to all the 4 slave nodes when we write the data to only master node. But the data can be extract or data can be get from any of the 4 child nodes as well. That means the slave nodes as well. So that is what the data master and then slave architecture. It is also a kind of master and slave architecture. But the point is what, in database especially, data syncing will be happened from master to slaves. Data syncing will be happened from master to slave in the case of the database syncing.
So,
the write operations will always do to the master database.
So the use case I defined to you, sir, where you need to sync, like not sync. I can say like it's a mirroring. You can say from the local server to cloud server and cloud server to local server. In that case, what technology we should use for that?
What is the data basically? Meaning, number one, do you have, okay, so your local data, in order to sync to the cloud data, there are various ways. For example, if it is a database data, then what we can do is we can use the Flyway, or we can use the other database migration tools, where using those tools, we can export your local data as a .sql file, and then you can upload it to...
Not like that, sir. I'm telling you, sir. So what happened in local server, I've used MySQL, and in cloud server also we used MySQL. So in cloud server, we have given access to users for mobile applications. They can upload few data and they can view the data also. They can view the data which is already in the local server. Suppose I can say billing values or any finance data, they can access through mobile application. They can see, view only. But when they have to upload few documents for any query or any KYC verification or something, in that case, they have to upload the documents, and it will be visible on cloud server.
Correct.
And that will sync to local server.
Correct. Now, what is the question actually?
The question is like, like what technology I should use to configure like both the system. Like I can use more from mobile data, cloud data in mobile application, local server, and local data in cloud server.
Okay, so basically this data syncing usually local to master and then master to local should have to be achieved using the replication.
Okay.
So replication we have to enable in the MySQL. If you are using MySQL, in the MySQL file, there will be a replication setup. Just check for that and then enable the replication setup. There you have to give the bind address as your master.
Okay. Yeah. I'll have the questions later.
Yes. Because these are the advanced concepts, right? So definitely let us discuss in coming up sessions, because few of the members who are joined as freshers as well here.
Okay.
However, let us go here. Yes. So installation and execution of the pipeline tools such as Jenkins with master slave architecture. So this is the master slave architecture. So this exact architecture we're going to set up, where one master and then one slave. Why I'm showing this diagram at this moment is just to visualize this diagram with respect to the statement. So here master node is configured with the build jobs. The build jobs will originally execute in the worker nodes. And then what is the next responsibility, next task? These are the one-time tasks I'm telling. Then again we will go to day-to-day tasks. Okay, one-time tasks. Next one-time task is what? Jenkins with master slave architecture. Next with what? Actually here Jenkins with master slave architecture. Next with what? Jenkins integration, enabling the Jenkins integration with the source code management repository. Source code management repositories. So I am referring to this architecture now. So Jenkins with master slave architecture is done. Then let us integrate the Jenkins with the source code management repository to get the data or to get the source code onto our Jenkins server. So what I'm writing here is enabling the Jenkins integration with the source code management repositories using pull mechanism, and push mechanism. What are these, sir? I'll explain all these things later in time. Why I am writing, the exact same document you will refer later in time as well, right? So I'm now writing these sentences here to have it in the document so that you can convey the same to your interviewer later in time. So what I mean to say is these are all your responsibilities or your job duties, right? So setting up the Jenkins master slave architecture, Jenkins integration with the source code management repositories using the pull mechanism, or maybe the push mechanism, or maybe the poll mechanism. Either of these mechanisms we will follow. Either pull mechanism, either push mechanism, either poll mechanism. So either of these we will follow. Okay. Next, what we will do once after this is done, next what we will do once after this is done, then next what we will do, we will set up next after this one, we will set up the code quality, and then code verification tools. Then we will set up the code quality, code verification tool. This is a one-time activity. So then installed and set up installation and execution of the code quality and verification tools like SonarQube. Next, installation and execution of the code coverage tools like CoreJava. Next, installation and execution of the functional testing tools like Selenium. Next, installation and execution of the security assessment tools like WASP. So this is what we will do with the Jenkins as a one-time setup. So just let me take this Jenkins, and this is 2, and here it is 3, and here it is 4. My bad. So this is 4, and this is the 5th, and this is the 6th. So with this one, where are we now? We are in this. This is the tool we have done the setup now. And also CoreJava tool also we have done the setup for the code coverage checking. Then we need to set up the RT factory. So these are what you have done as a one-time setup. You have to explain. So installation, execution,
You're not audible.
Yes. Am I
Your voice is break, sir.
It's breaking.
breaking? Actually, let me try. Again. Am I
No, it's still breaking.
still breaking? Is it partially breaking or full breaking? Because let me check.
Full breaking.
Full breaking. sorry for the interruption, guys. Just give me a moment. Sorry for the interruption. Yes, I just checked the router as well. So my mobile network I checked, seems it is good. Maybe my machine problem it is. If you are still unable to hear me,
You're fine now. You're fine now.
Oh, great. Thank you so much. Yeah. So installation, execution, and integration of the Artifactory tools. That means this is what the Artifactory tool we will do the installation. Why we need this tool? Why we need this Sonar Cube? Why we need this Artifactory tool? You can see the architecture. The war file or the jar file or the build file is created here, but that is exported to the Docker machine, not directly via this Artifactory. There is a tremendous benefits by using this Artifactory. We'll discuss them going forward in our sessions. But remember one more thing as well. In our day-to-day tasks, we also need to So in our day-to-day tasks, we also need to explain about the cloud setup where you did. Okay, I'll come to that. But first of all, let me summarize the one-time tasks. So Artifactory is done. Then what? Then the Docker machine setup. So installation. So installation and execution of the installation, execution. So here very important, installation, execution, and integration of the Docker server meaning Docker machine, with the Jenkins and with the Jenkins actually. So installation, execution, and integration of the Docker machine with the Jenkins server. Okay. Next, you might get one question, sir, how the Docker, you have not written Docker integration with the JFrog Artifactory, rather you said Docker integration with the Jenkins pipeline. What is that? You might have asked that question. Here, Docker is not going to be integrate physically with this JFrog Artifactory. Rather, the JFrog Artifactory script we will write in our Docker machine. So these will be connected together using a network. Maybe my words are little new for you, but this is the real time. We definitely can see. You can if you end to end, if you master, then you will be like anything in your real time work. However, so this Docker setup also we need to do. Then next what? Configuring the, once the Docker integration is done, then configuring this container registry, private container registry using the Harbor. So configuring the private Docker images registry using the Arbor. Arbor is one more tool. Then next what? Setting up the Kubernetes with the installation, install, setup, and execution of the Kubernetes cluster with the high availability, HA. With the high availability, HA. Okay, then what next? Install, setup, and integration of Ansible server with the Jenkins. So once this is done, then installation and configuration of this Ansible and integration with the Jenkins pipeline. Next, writing the playbooks also one-time job. Writing the playbooks, writing the Docker files, Ansible playbooks, Kubernetes manifest files, and Linux shell scripts. If your profile contains this statement, the interviewers, the HRs will be really excited. Really excited, because any job description you can see nowadays, they required exactly the skill set. Who can be able to write the Linux shell scripts, who can be able to write the Docker files, who can be able to write the Ansible playbooks, and who can be able to write the Kubernetes manifest files, who can have the capability of manage the cloud from end to end. So that is the reason this is very important. Right, sorry guys. So writing the Docker files, Ansible playbooks, K8 manifest files, and then Linux shell scripts. Next, writing the Terraform infrastructure provisioning. Writing the infrastructure provisioning. Writing the infrastructure provisioning. Writing the infrastructure provisioning files using the Terraform. What is this infrastructure provisioning files? With this infrastructure provisioning files, the entire setup what you did in one environment, you can do in a minutes of time or hours of time in the next environment. But you don't take a days of months of time. So that is the reason the interviewers or the job, whatever the job descriptions are there, right? The HRs will pick your resumes. They're looking for this kind of skill set in your resume. So writing the infrastructure provisioning files using the Terraform, very, very important. I'm just writing the DevOps daily tasks only, DevOps engineer daily tasks. So there is a lot of AWS tools and mechanisms also we will use. Let us also write them now. So what we have completed now with this 13 tasks, we were completed this entire pipeline. But what we also have to do, the users will access. Let me showcase you one diagram quickly. Let me showcase you one diagram. Just to give me one moment of time. Decide later. Just let me give a one moment of time. I would like to showcase you something here. So this is what our architecture, isn't it? Now, what the users will do or the customers will do is the users or the customers will access our application. So when they will access our application, we have to set up the load balancer. So we have to set up this load balancer. So this is meaning load balancers, how to set up and what kind of load balancers we have. So that all the things we need to know. Yes. Kubernetes also having the load balancer, but that is called as a client side load balancer. Okay. So that is called as client side load balancer. So like this. So we have to set up the load balancer, and this load balancer should compulsory have the Ssl termination. That means the Ssl certificate checking should be happened at this load balancer. This Ssl termination should be happened at the load balancer. And again, there will be a diversity of responsibilities that you will see in your Kubernetes setup. That is the API gateway setup, and lot more things will come. However, ingress controller setup and lot more things will come, but in general, these are the one-time setup that you will do. So configuring the load balancer, configuring load balancer with the Ssl certificate termination. Let us simply say Ssl termination. What is Ssl termination? What is this load balancer? Is again we're going to see in our coming up sessions. But here Ssl termination meaning when the application will be accessed by the users over the browser will be downloaded with one certificate. If you can see here, the browser will contain say certificates. The browser will download with the certificate. So let me go to these site settings, probably not site settings. Let me here itself only we can see the certificates. This is the domain, and this is connection is secure, and here is the certificate. So this certificate is valid, right? So details and then certification path and all. So this certificate, when we access this application, this certificate will be sent to the server. So the server here also have the same certificate at the load balancer. So this is a public certificate, and the load balancer will have a private certificate. So that public certificate, private certificate at the load balancer side will be handshake together. That is called the Ssl termination. Maybe this is little tough concept at this moment, but we have to do this in real time. We will do this. And don't be panicked by looking all these things. Oh my God, DevOps, I need to learn all these things. No, you are not alone in the project for sure. You will be with the either one or two colleagues or the engineers with you. You won't be alone in the team. If you're strong in Kubernetes and Docker, you can choose your choice. Hey, I will set up the Docker and Kubernetes. You guys will take care about the others. Or else, based on our confidence level, we can choose whatever we can do in this pipeline. But it is not, individual is not possible. So being a group or being a team, we will do. But don't relax. We have to learn all these things, and you should be able to do the end-to-end pipeline setup using all the cloud. For example, using the AWS services, right? Using the AWS services, you should be able to set up this entire cloud CI/CD pipeline. So that is what the agenda or the motto of this course. However, now let us go to our one-time task setup. So configuring the load balancer, configuration of the load balancer with the Ssl termination. And then what we will do, domain registrations. Guys, can you please mute, stop your video? Yes. Domain registration with the validations. Domain registrations with the domain validation. Domain registrations is what the point. Domain registrations. Domain registrations, and then yeah, domain registration, that is okay. This is we don't need to worry about it. So at least these are all the our one-time tasks that we need to do. So installation and execution of the pipeline tools, in that all these things will come. So this is one-time task setup. Clear, right? So all these things we will do as part of our one-time setup. And then day to day, what? This is very important. One time is okay, anyone can answer, but what we will do day to day, this is very important. One time setup, can anyone understand? And then anyone can do, meaning anyone can answer this one time, but day to day, what we will do. Okay, assume the setup is done, everything is working fine in the production. Now what we will do, what we will do is ensuring, monitor. Okay, what I'm saying is this entire pipeline is done. We have this pipeline in the production. When the developers will merge the code to the source code repository, within just 2 to 3 minutes of time, those changes are deploying into Kubernetes cluster. And then the end users are able to access the application. So end users are able to access the application. This is good. Okay, but this is one-time setup, everything is happening fine. But daily, what we will do, let us say 3 months we have taken to set up this one. 3 months is over, we have done successfully this setup. But daily, what we will do? So shall we terminate it from the company after this 3 months task is done? No, never. Two things. You will be assigned to one more project where they need the same CI/CD pipeline, and you need to maintain the current pipeline. So how to maintain the current pipeline? So to maintain the current pipeline, maintenance of the current pipeline. So monitor and maintain the pipeline. Monitor and maintain the pipeline. That means when a developer want to see any logs of the application, we have to extract the logs from the servers and share with them. Okay, next we have to, okay, next set up the blue green deployment process. Set up the blue green deployment process to further strengthen the pipeline. What does it mean, sir? What does it mean? Set up the blue green pipeline. What does it mean? Blue green deployment in the sense, for example, for 3 months the application will run on this environment. Another 3 months it will be switched to another environment. There it will survive for 3 months and then come back to this one. What will happen? The servers will be always be relaxing and then resetting, so that the application performance will be drastically be improved at every moment of time. So to support that, we need to set up the blue green pipeline. This is not day-to-day task actually. Let me keep it in our one-time tasks. So set up the blue-green pipeline. Set up the blue-green deployment process for strengthening the pipeline further. Right. Then what is our day-to-day tasks? Let us go here once and then see. Manage, configure, and maintain infrastructure system. Design, implement, and support DevOps continuous integration and continuous delivery pipelines. Research and implement new technologies and practices. Document process systems and workflows. So this is our day-to-day job. What is that? So design, implement, and support DevOps continuous delivery pipeline. So that means what actually? That is high-level sentences were given there. What we need to do more is, okay, first thing is what? Monitor and maintain the pipeline. That means when a developer want to see any logs of the application. So that means when a developer want to see any logs of the application, we have to extract the logs from the server and then share with them. Next, we have to monitor the server's health, CPU utilization, CPU utilization, input output, blocked IO. We have to monitor the server's health, CPU utilization, input output, blocked IO, and extract a report for every week and send across the team. Next, monitor the system cost and billing. That is the reason in our AWS session we will separately discuss the cost and billing as a separate session. It will take three working sessions it will take to understand cost and billing. So monitor the system cost and billing. System in the sense the entire CI/CD pipeline. So monitor the system cost and billing and set the alerts when exceeding the billing rate per week. Okay, so every time we need to do this. Actually every week we need to do this activity when exceeding the billing rate per week. Next what you have to do is when any errors or issues will come, DevOps engineer should have to receive them or should have to monitor the pipeline first and check the logs and then delegate it to the concern department. Maybe dev, maybe testing department, etc. Got it right? When any errors will come, let us say monitoring the pipeline, because the same thing you can put in your resume later in time. So when any errors will come, monitoring the pipeline, that means monitoring this entire pipeline, and then check the logs and then delegate it to the concerned department. Okay, next, supports the development team and then the testing team if they want any parallel environments setup to be done, and if they want to see the if they want to deploy the code, they want to deploy the code or scripts manually. So supporting the team. Sometimes what happen, production and then UAT are fully automated, isn't it? But sometimes that fully automation good actually, but sometimes the testers also require their own pipeline. So they may ask us the parallel environment setup also we have to do. So that means parallel. So when a performance testing, so supports the development team, testing team, they want any parallel environment setup to be done. And if they want to deploy the code or scripts manually, if any, so we have to support them manually, if any, right? Then supporting the performance testing team, right? In analyzing the system performance by monitoring, by enabling them to access the monitoring tools like Grafana, Datadog, and then there is one more tool, AppScrews, etc.
Kibana logs is there, so we can use this.
Kibana is for the logs actually. So this is the performance metrics. Performance meaning CPU utilization, JVM metrics, and input output throughput, and network rate. So all those things. So these are all the things we can see in this one. And Kibana also we can here. When any errors or issue will come, monitoring the pipeline first, check the logs, and then delegate it to the concerned department, maybe dev, test, etc. by providing an access to the EFK system. EFK meaning Elasticsearch, Fluentd, and then Kibana. Elasticsearch, because our environment is Kubernetes, so we will do the system called Fluentd. So Elasticsearch, Fluentd is the DB, Fluentd, and Kibana application UI. Right, so supporting the performance testing team in analyzing the system performance by enabling them to access the monitoring tools like Grafana, Datadog, AppScrews, etc., and by helping them and helping them by observing the live logs, CPU stats, CPU IO stats. Okay, so these are all the day-to-day tasks that we will do in our day-to-day work actually. This is our day-to-day work actually. When usually developers are keep on work, they will ask they required us to deploy something in their environment, because they are not they may or may not having the complete pipeline knowledge, so we have to support them for their deployment, right? So provisioning. So that's all guys, from this day-to-day tasks point of view. Hope these day-to-day tasks are clear for you, and then we have to explain to the interviewer when he asks, and you will get more clarity about these day-to-day tasks once you work here in this course. Throughout your course, when you work, you will get more clarity about this day-to-day tasks. But these are what the day-to-day tasks of a DevOps engineer. So what we discussed so far, who is a DevOps engineer, and then DevOps engineer day-to-day tasks, what are the DevOps engineer day-to-day tasks, and next we have to discuss how to become a DevOps engineer. So here we have to discuss how to become a DevOps engineer. DevOps engineer. So that is what let us discuss tomorrow. And roadmap of the DevOps course is what we will discuss tomorrow. And then tomorrow we will complete the demos. Then let us start our AWS sessions. Okay, fine. So that's all for today, folks. Any questions for me? Any questions for me? Yep. Okay, sir, where can I get all the syllabus we are covering as part of this course? Couple of my friends are interesting. Okay, you can get these course timings are 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. and going forward, maybe after 20 days, we will switch it to 8 a.m. After 20 days, we'll switch to 8 a.m. But for coming 20 days, it will be 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Right? Terraform, yes, Terraform will also be covered here, but not complete. Just for automating the EC2 instances, I will cover Terraform. So the course content probably you can get here. DevOps with AWS. Share this link with you. So where you can course content, whatever we are covering. Share with your friends if anyone is interested. Questions for me, guys? Right. Assure will be provided in this course. What Assure, Roja? I didn't get you. Gaurav, sir, where can, yeah, I have given. Abhimanyu, can you teach Terraform? Yes, Terraform also will be covered in this session, but not Terraform entire. Terraform, which is required for the DevOps units to automate the infrastructure, that will be covered here. And Vishnu, is it possible to schedule our class at 8 a.m.? Yes, for the first 20 days, it will be at the 9 to 10 a.m. Then later in time, it will be scheduled at the 8 a.m., 8 a.m. to 9:30. So Assure will be provided in this course. Get your question actually. Maybe you can again ask your question. Sharath, actually I have time issue. Can you share me your, yes. Recordings will be, whoever having the timing issues, they will definitely get the recordings. Day-to-day recordings will be uploaded to your drive. Just to spend your 1 hour of your time for listening the recording, then you can be easily, able to work it out, like when you're practicing again. So what is the payment link? Payment link, please check with our backend team. And Surendra, I have question. How can we access application specific logs from K8s? So application specific logs will be routed to the ELK application or EFK application. If we are using the Kubernetes, then the Kubernetes logs will be routed to the UI called EFK. If the not Kubernetes, then we can use the ELK. So ELK will provide us a UI where in that UI we can go and then search the logs with the keywords. Okay, right. Now Azure, Azure is not covered actually, only AWS with DevOps. Honestly speaking, to cover this DevOps with AWS course, for me, it will take 4 to 4.5 months, honestly speaking. Covering the concept is not the matter here, right? I have to make the session in pure realistic orientation. Once you work here, you never look back at anywhere. You definitely will solve your day-to-day issues, and then you can be able to work very happily without depending on any other one. That assurance I can give. So to go to that level, we have to do a lot of hard work. So 4 months is the course duration if we can consider, plus 15 days. Maybe we may have the unexpected leaves also, right? So 4 to 4.5 months it will take to complete the course. So Azure assurance I can't give right now, right? So it is 9 a.m. for coming 20 days. The batch is at 9 a.m. for coming 20 days. After that 20 days, the batch will be at 8 a.m. So can we download these recordings? Recordings are not downloadable. Recordings are not shareable. The recordings only viewable, and recordings available for 6 months. Your course is 4 months, then recordings will be for 8 months. Into 2 you have to consider. Is there any 7 a.m. batch start near time? Yes, after 20 days, the batch will be started 7 a.m. as well, because after 20 days, my 3 slots are vacating. So One of such slot is 7 a.m. So we can start the 7 a.m. batch. So yesterday you told contact number.
7 p.m. or 7 a.m. sir?
Sorry, 7 a.m. 7 a.m. My bad, 7 a.m.
So this class will be shifted to 7 a.m.
No. This class will be shifted from 9 a.m. to 8 a.m. after 20 days.
So
and
that
also,
is the problem, sir.
No,
there will be other like classes in that time.
Okay, let us see. Based on the majority of the guys how they will. Okay, then we can proceed like that. Okay, because a majority of the people's decision
That can be shifted to 7 a.m. Then that is fine.
That is also fine because 7 a.m. also one slot is there for me after 20 days. We can do that. So we can do that. That's batch. If the people are not comfortable at 9 a.m. because to rush to office, that will be difficult. Then we can switch it back to 7 a.m. as well, but after 20 days only. Okay, fine. So any project experience we will get. Project experience we will get in the sense, Onkar, you mean to say project experience documents like fake certificates? If that is your question, no, not at all. But the projects you will get, the projects, whatever we will do here, 6 projects that you can show as your experience or maybe the knowledge. Anything you can show. Right.
I have one more question, Narsi. This is Surendra.
Hey, Surendra.
Hi. My question is, this is not regarding to this session, and I did see that there is another session which is going on with the microservices design patterns.
Correct.
So how can I would like to attend for that too? Is it going to cover under this, or it's a separate course, right?
No, it is completely a separate one. It is completely separate.
Okay. So when is going to start the actual classes for that, not demos?
Actually, actual classes are started. In fact, demos only. But I'm now giving the background about what are microservices, what is monolithic architecture, how we migrated to monolithic to microservices. That is what we are now discussing. So maybe tomorrow we will wind up the demos, and then day after tomorrow onwards we can go with the coding part.
Okay. No, I want to talk with these admin people. So that is the reason I just today only I did notice that. So I need to talk to them, and then I want to get it done that too. Thank you.
Sure. Thank
you. Sir, demo session means like this. You will include AWS tomorrow or not?
Yes, included. AWS also.
No. Like tomorrow class, you will include AWS basics or something?
No. Actually, we have not completed this now. So this is demo sessions, and demo sessions meaning I'm really not wasting your time, because this document, whatever now we are preparing, this will be helpful later on time also to put in your resume, the tasks and then responsibilities roles. Okay. So tomorrow we will discuss about the DevOps engineer roadmap, meaning let us discuss tomorrow the tools that we have to learn, and then how we will learn the tools, each and every tool, how much time it will take. Let us list out that, and then we will jump to our AWS sessions. Fine.
Okay. So recording is not available like yesterday recording.
They will share. They will share. Probably they might be waiting for the registrations and all. I don't know, but they will share. Yeah, recording is valid. Recording is available into 2. Your course is 4 months, then into 2, 8 months the recording is valid. Okay. Yeah, recording is valid, but not shareable, not downloadable. Okay. So once again, let me know during this session what are all provided by you, sir. Sure, Roja. I will explain tomorrow. I'll explain. Okay, folks. Onkar, do you have the question? I believe I have not answered your question, right? If not, then I will repeat.
Oh, sir, I have one question actually. This is Saida.
Yeah, hi. Go ahead, please.
So actually, after finishing this course, which all certifications we can able to finish it up? Like for Azure, the basic one, AG 900. But I'm not talking about Azure separately. Just like we are discussing all these DevOps tools and all, like Kubernetes, Docker, everything. So after finishing this course, which all certifications we can able to
get it? Got it. So after finishing this course, we also have to prepare the examination dumps or examination kits. So with that, Jenkins we will cover administration level. So here Jenkins certification, Jenkins administration certification we can write just by practicing few dumps. And the Kubernetes 100% Kubernetes administrator certificate you can do by practicing the dumps, because the
CI/CD certification also need to be done.
No, actually, I don't think CI/CD will have a separate certifications like that. So certifications on the tools will be there. Okay, so Kubernetes you can easily crack the administrator certification, because the content and then the coverage and all will be at the certification level. And we can after attending the AWS, you can easily crack the AWS Cloud Practitioner certification. And with the CI/CD knowledge, you can also attend for the AWS Cloud Developer, but AWS Cloud DevOps Engineer. But AWS Cloud DevOps Engineer requires the AWS CI/CD pipeline using the code commit, and then there are some other tools which are actually I'm not covering as part of this session. So AWS Cloud Practitioner certification easily we can crack it.
Sure. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. No. Dumps are not part of this course, because dumps meaning there will be some third-party websites. There we have to subscribe monthly 2,000 rupees, 1,800 rupees will be there. If you subscribe for 1 month, they will provide the online examination. So they will provide the dumps actually. So online exam dumps we have to prepare, online examination we have to write. We have to see our score. So likewise, they will provide a lot of examinations in a month, and then since how long you will subscribe, they will provide the kits. Once you got the confidence, then you can go for the real exam. It will be purely with respect to the real exam pattern only. Yes, real-time project walkthrough. Yes, Onkar, real-time project walkthrough I will do. A total of 6 projects we will do. That 6 projects walkthrough I will do. Because if you can see the documents that I am preparing, if you can see this lab guide, so how neat is this lab guide is. So workflow, and then the concepts covered, and then the steps that to be followed, and finally the explanation of the project that we are doing. So like that, I will prepare the handouts and will be shared with you. A total of 6 projects handouts you will get in handy with you by the end of this course. Okay.
So
yes. Any questions?
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, like how can we practice? Like, do we need to set up all these, or is it all cloud based?
Cloud based. Everything is in the cloud only.
Okay. And then like, what about these materials? Like whatever you are preparing right now, like what documents are PPTs? So those will be shared with us, or
yes,
so
those will be shared via the Google Classroom. So,
okay. So they are downloadable, right, sir?
Yes. Documents are downloadable.
Okay. And one more thing, like, so is there any DevOps that's parallelly going on along with that AWS, so that we can plan to attend that DevOps as well parallelly?
Actually, 8 p.m. I'm going to start AWS only. And now we started DevOps with AWS. So as part of it, first I'm starting the AWS. DevOps is not yet started actually. Maybe coming up days we'll plan for it.
Okay, so because, that will be intimated to us, right, sir? Suppose once that is about to start.
Correct. And also why I started this DevOps, there were a couple of problems we faced if I start the pipeline. For example, this JFrog and then SonarQube need to be referred in the Jenkins. So every time the IP addresses are changing, we have to do a lot of XML change. So if the AWS will be covered, then we might get a concept of load balancer, static IPs, and also that is the reason I'm starting AWS. However, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Sir, one question, sir. Sir, do we need to use Linux for AWS and DevOps?
Yes, actually, AWS are all the services. Okay.
No, I mean, like, do we need Linux system or Windows system is also fine?
No, we need the Linux actually, Ubuntu operating system we will use throughout our course. But that Ubuntu operating system we will procure from the EC2 instances. So no need to install as a Oracle VirtualBox. Yesterday I said Oracle VirtualBox, I believe, but I don't want to go with that because that will take a lot of memory of your laptop. So let us put everything in the cloud. So Linux, all the EC2 instances that we're going to prepare are the Linux operating system machines only.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay,
sir,
folks.
Linux basics is also covered in this course, sir.
Yes, Linux. Yes, Linux is also covered. Once the AWS is completed, before starting our DevOps tools, we will start the Linux, because DevOps tools, Linux is the heart of these DevOps tools. So without Linux, there will be no imagination of the DevOps tools integration.
So if I understood correctly, you're going to start AWS first, then Linux, and then DevOps tools.
Exactly correct. That is the order. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Sir, after completing this AWS course, can we attend for AWS Solution Architect also certification?
No. Solution Architect is completely a different certification. Altogether, a programming language coding skill is required. So if you have a programming language, any of the programming language expertise, yes, you can attend for it.
Thanks.
Last question I would like to ask you. See, we are going to start with the AWS first or the DevOps first?
No, let us start with the AWS first, because if we start the AWS first, then you all guys will get the about the concepts of load balancer, static IP addresses, VPC.
Right.
So
I think I think I slept. I think in between. Sorry, it's almost here. It's 1 o'clock night.
Oh my God! Thank you so much for your Thank you so much for your interest in these demos. Giving your time.
I've been working as an architect and with the New York State Department of Health, and I don't have any problem with the job and all these things. I've been here, but just I am enthused to learn new things.
Great.
And that is the reason. It's almost 1 o'clock night. In between, I might slept.
Yeah. So thank you so much for showing the curiousness to my course. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Okay, folks. So see you tomorrow with more insights and all, and then let us start our sessions on AWS from day after tomorrow onwards. Okay. Thank you so much, and see you tomorrow at the same time. Thanks. Thank you all.